So the dust has settled finally on that 3-0 drubbing by Plymouth Argyle. I'm going to take a little back at that shit show, and it's coming at you next. Review, of course, looking back on Saturday's defeat to Plymouth Argyle, and we'll take a little look at it in just 1 second. If you're new, where you been, smash your subscribe button, bang it. All things Rovers related, championship related, world football related, we're all here, boys, under one roof. Around about 24 hours ago, Rovers suffered a bit of a tonking down the south coast. That's right, Plymouth Argyle coming out on top with a 3-0 win. But realistically, when you look at the numbers, when you watch that game, maybe a different side of the story there to come away with, of course, as we have a look in the numbers in a second. Of course, big shout out to my VIPs. They are the patrons, you know who you are. But anyway, what do I mean? What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about this, guys. Yes, 3-0 on paper, but look at the possession. Look at the opportunities. Were Plymouth that good? I'm going to tell you right here, right now. They were good. They were decent in spurts, but I think Rovers were just a little shitty in a couple of areas around the pitch. Of course, we're talking about finishing chances. Rovers just not really at the races today. When you've got a leggy, let's get all the excuses out of the way. It's been a long week, and we are honestly talking about a shit ton of travel for Rovers in the space of 7 days. When, of course, you turn the clock back to last Sunday, away day match to Watford, come back up 2 or 3 days later, you take it on Harrogate Town at their place, come back around, go all the way down to Plymouth, of course, and take them on. So 3 tricky away games in a space of 7 days. I ain't no spring chicken myself, but that travel can and will take it out of you. And especially when you spend about, I don't know, how many hours on the road? 4, 5, 6 hours each way. It's a lot of time, but let's not hold excuses. Let's not hold travel as our main excuse. I'm going to hold it to a little bit of it because it was a tough old slog, and the championship is this. The English pyramid is this. It is an unforgiving league, typically 2 games a week, but Rovers just weren't at it in this match. But don't get me wrong, I thought there were some bits to get excited about, because there was passages or spurts of the game that we should at least hit the back of the net a few times, probably equal to the same amount as Plymouth. So, but you know what? They had just as many chances. As you see, 23 shots for them, and 3 of them found the back of the net, 6 of them off target. Rovers, of course, going 20 chances, 9 of them off target. That's, of course, where one of the poor stats is for there is just Rovers not finding the final product there, shooting either off or wide or what have you. I typically back in the past would have a shot grid here to tell you where those shots were, but just we weren't clinical enough. And if we're gonna have a finger of blame, let's blame our forward men here, your Gallaghers, your Smodic, your things like that. I heard people already saying drop Smodic, or wait till our German comes in there and things like that. I don't think that's the problem. It is, of course, not great, and we are looking forward to having a different option up top. And of course, when our players, the Ennis, the Sigurdssons, or what have you, whatever his name is, the Icelandic fella, and of course Televic comes in, we will have different players, different options. It is a little stagnant up top, I'd give you that. But we just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net, but Plymouth did. And of course, the first goal, sucker punch blow, Rovers well on top at that stage, but a wild shot, but as is, taking a wild deflection, I think off Adam Wharton, goes in the back of the net, changes the whole shape of this game. Even though Rovers were still pressing and still looked like they were going to get goals in this, we just couldn't find that end product. But Plymouth then, of course, great goal from Ryan Hardy to put this game to bed, 2-0 at that stage. And then, of course, another messy stuff at the back by Rovers. Great goal by Luke Kundal over the top. And game over. And a very flattering scoreline, I'm going to say, for Plymouth. But finishing chances was one of Rovers' main weaknesses. And, of course, at the half-time, that first goal, of course, was a fluke. I'd give him a benefit of the doubt. But we did lose Dom Hyam for an injury, and he is a significant part of our defence. You take him out and, of course, put Scotty Wharton in or anyone else in there, And you've got Pears, you've got, Carter still learning his trade. It is a much more weaker defense, and it was well exposed here today. Yeah, let's put this one in the bag. And again, when you look at the table, 7 points from the first 5 games. I think it's first 5 games. It ain't too bad. It's not great. It's okay form. But it was always going to be a difficult one to go. I was a little cocky, perhaps, going with a 2-1 win in my prediction, but a lot of Rovers fans are opting for a draw here. So let's not look at this one too bad. Let's take a look at the teams then, shall we? Starting with, of course, the host. It was Connor Hazard between the sticks. Gibson, Pellegrino, of course, Kessler, Hayden, Edwards, Randall, Mumba, of course, problems all day. Houghton, Azaz there. We got Whittaker and Hardy, of course. So Whittaker being very good so far this season. Mumba was very, very explosive as well. And Hardy just clinical. And that's what we need. We need someone who's clinical. Gallagher is definitely not that. He can score goals. They're just fleeting. He's just more clunky and chunky. Not chunky in regards to his body or whatever. He's just so, he's more missed than hit, if you know what I mean. So let's take a look at the subs then, shall we? Of course, we did see the likes of Scar coming on there. We got Wright, Kundal with, of course, a goal, Miller, and Wayne. As for Rovers, opting for Pears between sticks, we probably will see the back of him. No disrespect to Pears. I think it's now time for Wildstadt to come in after this international break to change it up a little bit and see what we got there. 2 big games coming up for Rovers, Sunderland and Middlesbrough at Ewood Park. So a chance for Wildstadt to kind of show us what we've got. Dom Hyam, of course, Carter, Pickering, and Britton make up the back 4 there. And again, as we lost Hyam, it all went downhill. Travis, Wharton, Hedges, Moran, Smodic, and Gallagher. Looking at the bench there for Rovers, when you look at it, it's not blessed with experience. And again, you hear the pains and the groans from JDT about, we did get bodies in, a couple of new signings in, but they were, what were they? Their age, I think 23-year-old and a 19-year-old or something like that, doesn't really ring it as experience. So we haven't really upped. I think the age of our squad has actually decreased with John Buckley going out and these 2 guys coming in. So yeah, I feel JDT's frustration, and I just hope that the players can get back into winning ways, get back to positivity, and just keep him happy, because I think that's what's the only good thing going on right now for us, is the fact that we have a young core team. We are playing, performance-wise, are pretty good, but it's just that, we don't have those experienced heads that are gonna become crucial when the shit hits the fan, or if we get in a real bad way. We need the experienced pros, which you're looking at that here. Sondre Tronstad, Hedges, Scotty Wharton, and Wildstadt being the experienced pros right now. So we do lack that, and I don't know where we're gonna. We'll find those experienced professionals to come help us out. Let's take a look at the performances. Okay, we also saw Bloxham coming on, which was great. Dolan Leonard, Garrett, and Scotty Ward. This is, of course, their performances right here, right now. 7.8 for Smod. Again, quite high averages for certain players. Your Smodic, your Hedges, your Lewis Travis, and, of course, Sam Gallagher with 7.2. I think that's a bit over the top there. Then Hardy with an 8.3. Of course, pretty much clean sweep with Plymouth. Joe Edwards maybe the weakest, 6.9. An average of 7.19. Rose with a 6.99 average. And again, you can see down here where all the drama happened over at Home Park or Home Field or whatever they call it. Quick look at the player ratings in a bit more of a grid here of key attributes for the game. Of course, Ryan Hardy with a goal and an assist. He got an 8.3, and Ballymumba with 3 crucial tackles as well. When he played a good 71 minutes of the game. Sammy Smosh, the best Rovers man, with a couple of crunching tackles as well. He was very accurate with his passes. 90% of his passes was a 7.8 as well. And then, of course, the chasing pack as well. Well, let's take a little look then. What else have I got here? I've got the heat maps. That's right. I've got the heat maps coming at you right here, right now. Of course, as you can see from this is a bit of an extra overlay here. Of course, Plymouth, winning it, but basically taking their chances. They had much less possession than we had, which means nothing really. You don't really have to have possession, and that will be an interesting stat to see how many possession-based sides actually win the game, or how much of a swing is it? Is it more 75% of those games with the most possession do win it? Because as you can see, a very sparse possession for Plymouth. They just took the chances and were clinical. And I know Rovers have been down that road before, and of course, much of the grass covered covered here by Rovers and just couldn't find the ball in the back of the net. So a quick overview of me. What about JDT? Well, here's his thoughts and opinion from the game at Plymouth.
Chances that you created as a team today.
Yeah.
Why do you think you've lost 3-0?
The heel simple answer to that, Adam, is that they scored. And we all know how important the first goal are. I think we had the chances to score the first goal. They scored the first goal out of a reflection. Of course, I'm extremely disappointed with this result. And I don't think it's a fair scoreline if you look at the game as well. Not at all. If you look at the 75 until the 75th minute, I was thinking, how is it possible that we're not leading this game? We played some great football, but in the end of the day, it's of course about putting the ball in the goal. We had the opportunity to put in the ball in the goal. The first goal to score was in a reflection. We all know how difficult it can be to come here. I think they won 20 out of 23 games last season, so it's a good record. To create that many opportunity or come into the final third like we did today was good, but of course we're extremely disappointed with the result. And also when you have so many fans traveling down to Plymouth, it's of course disappointing that we couldn't give them 1 or 3 points. But football is about getting that first goal, and the difference is, of course, they scored the goal. It was a bit of lucky, and after that, the opportunities we had, we didn't take those.
You are a striker. Why do you think players who were regular goal scorers with a club like Sam Gallagher, Ryan Hedges has scored that brilliant goal last week, why do you think it just didn't happen today?
It's a very good answer. Our question, Adam, if I had a good answer, then we probably got a goal. But of course, if you look at football, there's a reason why good goal scorer costs money, and they score goals every time. Yeah, just general. That's we see that every week in this league and in Premier League. But of course, in the end of the day, we should be disappointed not to get something out of this game. And it sounds crazy that I'm saying that after losing 3-0.
Are you upset, angry with the manner and the way you conceded today, particularly the third goal, which was a little bit untidy?
That was a mistake. The first goal, I think, was extremely unlucky. You could see the difference. It was a reflection with the first one. It went into the goal, and we had Trev reflection. It went on the bar. That's one of those games, and of course, in the end, it was a mistake. But football, that's football, and mistakes happen, Adam.
Meanwhile, of course, let's take a look at what went on social media now. This, of course, was my quick overview of some of the Rovers faithful. Lewis Hartley with a picture of Phil Mitchell with a bottle of booze there. That's what it felt like. It's what it felt like last night. Umar Rakfason, Umar Rafik. International break will be crucial to get the new boys bedded in, they said shortly after the game. Richard Skop, whatever his name is there, can we see it? Skopjic. Our performance didn't deserve the result, but you can't squander as many chances as we did and expect to get a result. Beyond frustrating, let's see if the German lad can change anything for us up front when he comes in. Paddy says, awful up top, goalie cost us 2 goals, back to the drawing board. Meanwhile, Salford Rovers, stop trying to walk it in the net. Shoot onside. There was 2 or 3 chances. We went a little bit too much for that. Again, Tommy, unfair scoreline, not really deserved, but this is the championship. Missed-scoring opportunities, you get punished. Without a clinical finisher in the team, we are going to struggle. Hopefully, Televic comes in and changes that. Consistency will be a key word again this season. Jack Hayes, one look at today's bench tells us all we need to know. Laughable. Meanwhile, just chilling, says Travis was way off this match. There's no defending pairs anymore. Even the saves he did make weren't the best. Hoping our new striker comes in and lights things up. We need a massive change up. And of course, there's a few other bits and pieces over there. But of course, that was yesterday. Quick look at the results from around the championship. Then, of course, as you see, some shockers. Absolute shockers, which may have given us a bit of an extra life already. Sunderland 5-0 tonking over Southampton was one of the surprises. Bristol City with a big away day win over Swansea. Birmingham 1, Millwall 1, Ipswich 3-2 win. 2-0 down they were, coming back fighting. Meanwhile, Rotherham with a big 2-1 win over Norwich City. It's a good win for Norwich, of course. So good with Rotherham. Big L for Norwich on that one. Coventry 3, Watford 3, another game of the day. 6 goals in it. Leeds could only muster a 0-0 draw against Sheffield Wednesday. Leicester City also losing at the King Power when they went to Hull. Preston off end top the table. We'll see that in a minute. 2-0 win over Stoke. And Borough losing to QPR, which of course is an absolute shocker. And West Brom losing at home to Huddersfield Town. This is of course what the table looks like. And as you can see, yes, clear your eyes. Wipe the shit from your eyes. It is Preston off end top of the table right here, right now. 13 points, looking good. Only one of 2 unbeaten sides thus far. The other one being Birmingham, who are in 4th right now. Plymouth up to 10th, of course, 7 points on the board. Rovers down to 13th, of course. But early days. Let's kind of paint it as early days. Looking ahead, when we come back from the international break, Hull City will take on Coventry. That's on a Friday. There's also another game Friday. Southampton, Leicester, Norwich City against Stoke, Bristol City against West Brom, Watford against Birmingham, Huddersfield against Rotherham, Sheffield Wednesday against Ipswich, QPR Sunderland. We have Cardiff, Swansea, Millwall, Leeds, and Preston take on Plymouth. So come on, Green Army, let's take one for the team and beat those knobbers. And Rovers will of course take on Middlesbrough. We will have coverage of that game, preview, watch along, possibly fan chat. I don't know. I may not be in the hot seat for the watch along because I'm going to be traveling back on the day before. It's going to be touch and go. If anything, I might make a cameo via Resume, but I'm going to probably hand the keys over to Pete, but he doesn't know that yet. I think that's pretty much it. What else have I got? Okay, that's it, guys. Again, things are going to get a little bit weird on the channel over the next few days, but the videos are still coming. But until then, guys, subscribe, thumbs up, catch the sniffer. I don't even know what I'm saying. Subscribe, thumbs up, and I'll see you soon for the next one.